Hello everybody and welcome to another live stream edition. It's pretty much happening every Friday, so at 2 p.m. Eastern time you can almost be sure that you can just tune in here and watch a live stream. If you're watching this as a replay after live stream has been done, then welcome, and yeah, you'll be able to hopefully enjoy what has been happening over here. But I highly encourage that you try and drop by one of these Fridays, because there's like the interactive chat, and basically we all interact, and you can ask questions and I can like answer right away or show you how to do something. So yeah, anyways, today's topic will be about contouring and highlighting for very pale skin. So if you're about NC or NW, just a guideline, 05 to 15, and you have hard time contouring without looking too muddy or too obvious or too, I don't know, dark and unblended, like it gets hard to blend because you're so pale, then hopefully this will be helpful for you. I'm going to try and show different options for contouring and highlighting for different occasions as well. And yeah, anyways, I'll try to do like the eyes, lips, face, and eyebrow and everything. So basically I have now just bare face. I just have my sunscreens, my under eye sunscreen, sunscreen neck, sunscreen everywhere, but I don't have anything that would be makeup. So I'm gonna start from scratch, and you can ask questions and just don't feel shy. Just ask as much as you want. That's the point of these kind of videos. Anyways, since I'm not having anything on my skin, by the way, I have my mirror here, and since I have really bad eyesight, I'll have to really get close, and I hope that you'll be able to see everything properly. What I was gonna say, yeah, since I don't have anything on my skin, I'm gonna start with some sort of a base. Like I have my sunscreen. I've let my chemical sunscreen sit in for about 45 minutes, so it's already activated. I'm not gonna be bothering it by using this kind of things on top, especially that it is a waterproof sunscreen. First thing I'm gonna be trying, I'm not sure if any of you is familiar with this brand, but well, they sell it at CVS, but it's basically, the brand is Deciem, and they are based in Canada, and they have like 10 different brands for different purposes. Like I just received their cleansing conditioner. I'm gonna try, and I'll probably make a blog review of everything that I have from them. But yeah, this thing, you can find it at CVS. It's supposed to be like a blurring, optical perfecting thingy. It retails, I think, for $19.95 in CVS. I've just tried it once yesterday, so I don't really have a big opinion on it, but I'm gonna try it as a primer because they say that it can be used that way as well. I have my little plate here, and I'm putting just a dollop like that, and because my hands are clean, I'm just gonna go straight up. Hello! Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat. I'm sorry. I should pay more attention to it. So I'm starting with half face, so you can see what this does. If you can see anything on camera, I'm not sure. It actually is getting very hot here today. I don't know if it's just me or if it's really hot. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not sure if you can tell really a big difference. Yeah, actually, I'm not sure if you can see, but here I can see a drastic difference. Not drastic, but like you can notice it. So I don't know. This isn't supposed to be a primer, like technical primer to make your foundation last longer or anything like that, but it's supposed to be just a it evens out the skin tone with optical I should read better what it does. Immediate surface correction, corrects fine lines, texture or irregularities, and color imbalances. So this isn't like a treatment, it's just a cosmetic thing that you apply either on its own. It's meant to be used for cameras and photography and things like that, or you can mix it, or you can apply on top of your foundation. Again, I'm going to do like a more proper review on this thing later on. I just wanted to play around with products. So yeah, that's what I've applied. And if you hear like tapping sounds, that's Muffy. He's he went to fetch the little boiled rice that he had behind the computer. So yep. So there's that. And today I'm going to be using a foundation that isn't exactly matching me, because now that I think about, I don't really have any that's extremely full coverage that would match me besides the Marc Jacobs Remarkable. Like, that's the closest that I have, but that one is kind of too drying for me right now because I have like these acne patches and they tend to get dry. So I'm gonna use something a little bit darker. Just warning you, I'm not like stupid by using that. I don't know how to match my skin tone. So I'm gonna be using this Suku Frame Fix Cream Foundation in 101. Reason why I use this is that although it's controls oil a little bit, like I said previously, Japanese foundations tend to, it also has a very full coverage. So I'm just taking a little bit with my spatula and distributing over the mixing board. Yeah, although it is a little bit mattifying and it does offer high coverage, and it's also creamy enough that it won't settle into dry patches or things like that. And I'm not going to bother by lightening this today because I'm going to be contouring, and since I'm on a camera, the colors don't really appear 100% truthful, so it won't be that big of a deal. So I've taken this much approximately, and I usually like to use my fingers a lot for application. So no, sorry, I missed something. I wanted to color correct slightly this area here. And I know that I said previously don't use green. That's because green is hard to control, but I've experience with green, so, and this is a very inflamed breakout, so the redness is very persistent. Therefore, yellow would not entirely correct this color here. Like, if it was just a regular breakout, I would definitely use just something yellow, or even not use anything. So although it looks a bit green now, because I'm going to apply a foundation that is slightly, or it is darker than my skin tone, it won't really show through. But if you're applying something that's, if I would apply the Marc Jacobs Remarkable, it might show through a little bit more because there is less undertone to correct it. But something darker has more, especially this one has more yellow, and yeah, you'll see. Anyways, I'm gonna start by dotting, and I want to do half face and then half face so that you can see what it looks like. So like a review of sorts. And then I'm taking the Real Techniques buffing brush. This is my standard brush. I have many more for foundations, but I like this one just for quick application, because then I'm going to be, how to say, perfecting it with the Beauty Blender. The green one was from MAC, so it's from their Pro line. You can buy it online, of course, and it looks like this, and they have like several shades. So all of these are from MAC Pro, and they're their correcting cream concealers. Anyways, next I take just a spray toner or spritzer or something that has no acid, and I'm just spritzing onto a clean brush so that it won't absorb as much of the cream foundation. And I'm not yet sure if this will be a good idea. I mean, haven't used this foundation in some months, or it's one of my favorite foundations. If you ignore that it's not really matching me that well, but honestly, I absolutely love this foundation. It's just stunning. So anyways, I have, sorry, half face done. This foundation is paler than NC15, but I mean, you can see the contrast. Like, it's obvious that I'm wearing something, but for now I don't care, since I just want to show more or less contouring techniques. So you can build it up. And with this brush, if you tap with it or dab with it, you build coverage. And if you like do like this, you're like blending. So that's why I personally like this brush, because it's very versatile. You don't lose coverage with it. And yeah, so now I'm just making sure that the foundation is even. And you can see, I mean, it still doesn't cover it perfectly, because the breakout is so red and so dry that, but there will be tricks I'm going to show you. So by the way, this is a nude Beauty Blender. I prefer this color over the other colors, because when you're actually applying, it just looks like foundation color to me, so that I think looks cuter. Okay, so half face done. I'm gonna do the other half. Might actually need more amount of foundation, we'll see. Also, this foundation, which is something I forgot, dries very fast. Like, it sets so quickly that you have to work it, which is, you know, unusual for a cream foundation, because cream foundations tend to, well, they tend to be more luxurious and more, you know, replenishing, if you wish. But Japanese cream foundations aren't exactly that way. So if you're someone who has, you know, combination skin, and you tend to have a lot of dry patches, or, you know, mattifying or liquid foundations tend to show through the patches, or it feels like too tight, you might want to check into Japanese cream foundations, because they, although they are hydrating, they also set fast, so it won't, how do you say, it won't stay like stay on top of your skin like some kind of emollient layer. Therefore, it won't contribute to more shine on your skin. So that's what I meant. Also, this foundation is very good for pore controlling, if you wish. It really helps to conceal pores. Wow, sorry, I'm trying to open the foundation to get more, but it's kind of tough. I'm always swearing that I'm going to remove the lid, like throw it away, but then I remember that I travel, and if I carry this, it might just... Sorry, I'm just scooping out a little bit more. Not that much more. I don't really need that much more, but I've noticed that I have patches that aren't entirely covered. And again, like I said, if you have any questions, please ask. That's the point of this. So, for example, I had here some patches that I felt were too visible, and like on a regular basis I wouldn't be bothered, but like I want to show you, for example, ID picture contouring, or you know, things like that. Therefore, I would rather show you how to obtain as good coverage as you can and as flawless skin as you can for photography. And now I'm not gonna really blend it downwards to my neck. I mean, I know that it would help in order to match me better, but the point here isn't exactly to show you how to match a foundation. I think pretty much most of you know how to do that, so and I tend to spend a lot of time blending foundations and making sure that everything looks as seamless as possible. And this little fella here just doesn't want to cover, and that tends to be because when you have breakouts, usually the skin where it's you know, swollen and inflamed, it stretches out, therefore it becomes much smoother. It's much how to say, it's like polished skin because it's so inflamed. Therefore things won't stick as easily to it, and they might stick even more around the inflamed area because there tends to be more dryness. So usually when you have an active pimple, you have two situations to correct, and that is the surroundings, which is very dry, and the actual pimple, which is very smooth and almost slippery, so like nothing wants to stick there, or if it sticks, it will you know, after a while the pimple will peek through. Okay, so I could do something here, and I have to grab a darker concealer. So there is one that works slightly better, or that I found works better for this case of situations, and it's the MAC Pro Longwear, and the one that I have is NW15. And it's not ideal. I mean, this is dark, but I just took a little bit. I mean, it's not as dark as their foundations. Keep that in mind. This is way lighter. Not sure if that's going to correct it, because not really. Anyways, I'm going to let it be because this is as good as it will get in this case. Like, you can try things like applying more sticky primers underneath and things like that, but when you have a really bad breakout, like it's very inflamed, very red, you won't be able to correct it completely no matter what you do. So like, you can correct it tonally if you apply a very thick compact foundation or stick foundation, but that's not what I wanted to do today. So, whoops, there we go. There. Okay, so the next step. Sorry, I'm just quickly cleaning. Yeah, concealing pimples are very tough. I mean, especially when you're pale, because they, the contrast of whatever skin issue you might have, the paler you are, the more there is that contrast. So you're actually fighting against contrast and not just correcting that. But if you do, let's say, a perfect correcting job, like you do your corrector, like your sticky base primer, then your corrector, then your concealer, and then you set it, you still have a problem around that. It will always stick out, like you won't be able to really match it perfectly. So you have to sort of like pick what's more important. Like, do you want to have a patch of something there and then your foundation, or would you rather have, you know, your foundation and that not really getting so much attention? Because there is, you know, like I said, there is the volume problem, there is the big difference in or contrast in undertone problem, and then you have the dryness problem. So I would say don't beat yourself for that. Just try to make sure that you keep your skin as calm as possible, so that you at least don't have that massive redness. I got that massive redness, unfortunately. That's how it is. And anyways, next I'm going to probably just conceal and, you know, do the correction under my eyes. So I'm using the Becca Backlight Targeted Corrector in Violet, and I'm just using a NARS concealer brush. And at this point, I'm not really worried about undertones. Like, I could do some heavy correcting job, but as I said previously, I'm not really interested in doing that today. So I'm just applying a brightener. So this is sort of like your pre-highlight base, if you wish, because as I said previously, this area tends to be darker, even if you're very pale, or the paler you are, the, like I said, the greater the contrast. So let's say this level of darkness, if I would apply self-tan, it would actually look very bright. Like, I wouldn't need even concealer because it would look so bright. But the paler you are, it will almost instantaneously become like you have really bad sleeping problems. So I'm not sure if you can see. Yeah, there you can see, like, as much as you try to apply correctors and whatever, like, that thing will stay there. Unless, like I said, you apply a full coverage compact cream foundation or a stick foundation like those that they use, you know, for stage or for like camouflage makeup. But that wasn't my point today. So yeah, anyways, if you're rewatching this, feel free to lecture me how I corrected it poorly, this area, but I don't really care. Like, that wasn't the point now. I'm going to be using, well, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to be using the Anastasia concealer in 05. Oh my goodness, it smells so bad. And it's not like it's old, it's actually pretty new. But the smell just smells like burnt plastic. You know, like if you, or maybe that's just me, but if you have like kitchen accidents and accidentally like your Tupperware goes in the stove or something and it starts smelling funky, that's exactly what this smells. Or like burnt tires. It just, honestly, it's disgusting. I have no idea why the concealer smells like this. It could be because of the emollients and they don't have any fragrance in there. So now I was just applying the concealer. I haven't really thought this through, so I'm just like winging it. I'm not really having any structure or order of preference or whatever. And basically I'm just blending. I'm gonna be doing my eyebrows soon before going into contouring, because I feel like eyebrows really help balance like the lower portion with the higher portion. See, and blend it. So I still have to do this side, but as you can see, it's almost lifted, if you wish. It has no dimension, which is what we're coming through. Like, now I'm removing all the tones or the imperfections and a little bit the dimensions so that we can build it up back, and you can like get an idea how to do that, or how you might, I don't know, acquire some techniques and use them. I don't know. I'm still applying a little bit here because it's still kind of dark. And for under eyes, I really, really, really love the Beauty Blender. Or I like the Beauty Blender in general. I wouldn't say it's as the only tool to use, but it is a very good tool to have in hand to really blend out the products together. I think it does one of the best jobs, in my opinion, I would say. So I have like tools to place and to, you know, pre-apply the product. But then for the actual blending of what's cream products, I like the Beauty Blender. And I've been using Beauty Blenders way before they were popular. When I started in makeup artistry, that was maybe 8 years ago, or even more than that. I can't recall. Maybe 9 years ago. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, a really famous makeup artist, Kabuki, I was attending his seminars, and he was like showing, like, he did, you know, makeup for Lady Gaga, Madonna, David Bowie, and whatnot. He's really, really good. Anyways, he was using the beauty blenders back then. Like, he had a bunch of them, and he said that he was really, really loving that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really need to try that thing. Yes, exactly. The smell of burnt sandals in hot weather. Yeah, that's what the concealer smells like. Seriously, like, sometimes I'm taken aback to use this because of the bad smell, and I'm like surprised that nobody has been mentioning that, because I've smelled the testers and they smell exactly the same. So I don't know if people are so biased or so bought on, you know, in the beauty community, that nobody is saying anything anymore, because all I hear is like super praises, but not a single mention of like smells bad. I haven't tried the mini beauty blender. That, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know, because I haven't tried them. I think they're cute. Maybe if you have smaller hands than mine, it might work better to use them. I don't know. I think they're really, really cute, but okay. I have to set the under eye concealer because it's already starting to crease. This is how fast this Anastasia one creases. Like, and I really don't use that much. I'm using the Laura Mercier Secret whatever brightening powder in the white shade or original shade. I'm gonna check now, 1 minute. I'm gonna actually also set this because I'll go again in a while to try and conceal a little bit better. That's another trick that you can use if an area doesn't want to conceal or it's hard to conceal. You can go and set and then add another layer. It might end up looking cakey, so that's something you have to keep in mind. So anyways, here it is. I'm gonna be now doing my eyebrows, which that's not really the purpose of this, but since it's quite important, I always use the, or not always, like I have a lot of options for auburn hair, but this is the best match for me, and it's the Eye and Brow Maestro in the shade 03, and here it's called Red in the US. So it's from Giorgio Armani. It can be used as a primer for eyelids, can be used as a mascara, it can be used as a contour, it can be used for eyebrows. So that's what I use it mainly for, eyebrows. And I'm going to be telling you which brush I'm using now. I always start at the bottom end because I like to shape that area first. And then I lift lightly the product, whatever's left, upwards. And this is actually a very, very cheap brush. It's from Misha, and it's the Professional Eyebrow Angle Brush. And honestly, it's probably the best eyebrow brush for like cream products that I have encountered. And I know that I'm taking a long time, like I was supposed to be already doing the contouring, but I didn't have any makeup before, so I apologize. And I thought that, hey, maybe I could do this something more illustrative. So anyways, here's the eyebrow. It's not yet finished. Like, I'm gonna go and contour it with other shades, but this is like the base shade. And it's actually, like for me at least, it's a pretty good match when I have my hair freshly dyed, and my eyebrows too, by the way, for those who don't know or who've been wondering. Yes, I dye my eyebrows. Been doing that for many, many years. I used to just bleach them to bring out a little bit of the red tones, because naturally I have red tones, but it's not, of course, this bright or this light. So I hope you can see what I'm doing, because this might be helpful. But also eyebrows, if you rush them, you can have like really wonky eyebrows, and that's like, at least for me, it's a pain to start removing all of the eyebrow product, because if you try to like correct something, then you have to, you know, reapply the concealer and reapply the foundation, and then it just doesn't look right. So that's why I like to be a little bit more careful and like get the what I want at once, rather than, you know, playing around like removing with Q-tips and trying to get them right if they have, you know, been messed up. So anyways, I really recommend this Eye and Brow Maestro. Honestly, like, I have the Anastasia here. I have the Anastasia. I have from MAC. I've had from Makeup Forever. I have like so many, but the only one that I keep going back to, and like it lasts so long, and they have such a wide range of colors. Like, they have from the coolest super gray tones to the warmest, very bright yellow tones, like in terms of hair color tones. So if you can check this one, really do, because like, no matter how much you sweat, how hot it is, how oily it gets, they just stay put so well, and they look actually pretty natural for a, you know, pomade type. I have actually wonky eyebrows too. Yeah, it's quite clumpy. I mean, when you look at it in the pot, it looks fine. When you take it, it looks fine. But when you start applying it, it's like you might have, you know, an area that's suddenly gets too dark, or like suddenly there's too much product. It's harder to control. And this one is more of a wax type of, if you can see the difference, this is more of a cream type, gelish almost, and this is like pure wax. So this really, like, you have to dig in to get it out, but it's amazing how well this thing works. And the same thing, because it's such a wax, it just stays put, and until you use, you know, waterproof makeup remover or something like that. And it's a nice bonus that if you feel like matching your eyebrows to your lashes, you actually, you know, those lash spoolie thingies, like, let me try and get one like this. Like, you can rub it in and actually coat your lashes, and you will get like the same tone. So I highly recommend this thingy. And by the way, this one I've had for 2 years or a bit over, and look how much, like, there is still a lot left, and that's pretty much what you often see me in pictures wearing. It's the Giorgio Armani. It's the Eye and Brow Maestro. And they have like very cool tone gray colors as well. So that also can be used as a contour, because they say it can be used for pretty much anywhere. So I'm not going to use the Anastasia, because like, I have the caramel and the auburn, and the auburn is very dark. Like, it looks almost like I have dark brown eyebrows on myself. So I'm going to use the Hourglass, which is another one that's very nice, and they make actually a very cool toned gray one, and this is what it looks like. This I don't like to use it all over my brow because it darkens this specific color, the auburn. But I like to, how to say, like sculpt the eyebrow. Like now I'm just adding a little bit of shape. So basically I'm going on the edges of my eyebrow and sort of giving it more dimension than just this. And I'm not doing it all over the eyebrow. I'm starting basically around this point. So I'm leaving always the inner corner a bit lighter because that softens the look. Of course, you can go darker. I'm not saying that there is a right or wrong way. I'm just pointing out what I prefer to do, and maybe it's something that you like too. Moi! Sorry, I had to answer and give me up. Anyway, sorry. I had a quick message that I had to answer. So anyways, yeah, with this hourglass, you can also lift the eyebrow. So basically you can apply your regular eyebrow gel or, you know, regular eyebrow powder, whatever. And then with this one, I like to contour and lift the eyebrows. It really, really has a good precision for that. And it's a very hard wax. So let me try and show you. There you go. But it can deposit a lot of pigment if you're not careful. Therefore, that's why I use it mainly to go around the edges and make it a little bit more natural, because the Armani one can be like quite obvious. So yeah, that's what I do. So that's done. Now I'm going to just ever so lightly clean up my eyebrows. So I'm just using the Laura Mercier flat eyeliner brush. I like to use something that's square and flat in order to clean up a little bit the edges. And that proves to be not enough for me to see, so maybe now it's better. And as I said, I try to be very careful in the initial application so that I don't have to, you know, clean up too much. I see a lot of people that, you know, are getting like doing like caterpillar eyebrows, and then they go with their concealer and like start cleaning up the whole thing, and then it just looks overly done, in my opinion. And I try to not make a too unnatural eyebrow shape compared to mine. Like, yeah, I do thicken them a little bit, because not because mine are thin, I actually pluck them thinner, because when they're like thicker naturally, it tends to be more, you know, unruly looking. So they're like random brow hairs around. Okay, I think that's should do. And I should start with some of the contouring. I'm sorry. So yeah, I think that's about it. And now I'm gonna just lightly set the area. And by the way, if you're using concealer, no matter how well you set it on your lid, it will always gathered up a little bit on the eye socket pocket. Oh, that rhymed. But anyways, yeah, it will tend to gather up there, not because it's not properly set, but just because, you know, the motion of the skin will gather product. Yeah, hairy people united. Yeah, that's why, like, if someone has like already naturally thin brows, I wouldn't like recommend them to really pluck them that much. But I have very, very thick brows naturally. Like, all of here is full, up here is full of hair, up to like this point is full of hair. So I need to give it some kind of shape somewhere. Anyways, I'm gonna have my coffee. Whoops, sorry. I think because I was already in the eyes, I'm gonna start contouring, showing to contour the eyes. So, okay, there are 3 palettes that I personally enjoy when I'm doing eye contouring, like not eye makeup. So I'm not trying to have a specific eye look, not trying to have smoky eye, I'm not trying to have like an eyeliner or a color, nothing. I'm just trying to give shape back to the eyes. And again, you don't need these palettes. I'm just showing you what I personally like. First option, whoops, too much glare, get off. Trying to remove the plastic. Anyways, first option is the Tom Ford Nude Dip. I like this one when I want more of a glowy contour. So yeah, there are different types of contouring. In my book at least. So yeah, Tom Ford Nude Dip. Next one, if you like very, very warm toned and for creepy hearted eyes, well, I'm gonna show you in a moment, but usually Tom Ford tends to be very, very silky and smooth to apply if you have a crepe type of texture in the eyes. Next one is by Becca and is the Ombre Rouge eye palette, and as you can see, it has reddish undertones, which I personally really like. And the last one is from Dior and is the Eye Reviver Illuminating Neutrals palette in 001. So I think for today I'm using this one. This is more of a cool toned one, and the other 2 are more warmer toned. I have more colors. I mean, you can use bronzers, you can use contouring. I'm just showing you what I tend to use, and by no means is like set on stone. Like, you can use whatever. Like, if you have a beautiful contour color that you like, then by all means use that. Anyways, I'm gonna be picking, let me think, what do I want? Which one do I want? Okay, I'm taking the MAC 224. And, sorry, just wiping and cleansing my previously used brush. So, this is my brush holder. Yes, the Tom Ford palette has insanely beautiful colors. Would someone want to see the other colors from Tom Ford palettes? I don't know if you have access to Tom Ford palettes and you would like to see colors, because I have some more in the drawer, so I can show you if you want. Just let me know. So there is the Dior. I mean, for this type, this is for the kind of nude, this is as cool toned as you might get. Actually, they have released a second one, so they have now two different in this illuminating type, and this last one is supposed to be a cream eyeliner thingy. It's actually nice, but I don't tend to use that one, so I use only these colors. And if you're wondering what happened to a brush, I can't stand those small brushes. Like, I tend to toss them away. They just annoy me. Like, every time I open it, they just fall off and I have to start finding them. Anyways, I'm going to be using this brush, and then I'll think about what other brush I want to use. So I'll first use the nude one here, which is just a cream. And basically, I know that we have already done the concealer and set it and whatnot, but that was like concealing color, and I want more of a even base. So, I mean, there isn't really a big difference. Maybe it warmed it up just a hair, a little bit, but otherwise there won't be a massive difference. And Muffy is just looking at me like, what are you doing? Why are you staring at me like that? Like, come here. Okay. I'm trying to come more up close so you will be able to tell better what I'm doing. And next one, I'm going to take this color, which is, I'm going to try and swatch it on my hand for you. There you go. I mean, there. It looks like a shimmery beige, but it has, it's between warm and cool tone. Gosh, it's very hard to describe, but there it is. And I personally like that color as my first contour. So like, my eyes are hooded, or yeah, I think that's called hooded. Like this brow area actually falls over, so as you can see, it just falls over. So I tend to apply the darker, or like the first contour shade, pretty much a little bit under where the crease is and a little bit over, just to, I don't know how to explain. Probably you're going to be able to see it. But basically, I'm just starting to add dimension. I mean, it's not a really dramatic difference. You can't see it by now, but I'm just trying to reduce the hoodedness, if that makes sense. And it's basically building it up slowly, and it depends on your eye type. Like, if you have very deep set eyes, I would not do deep contours on a daily basis, because it will make your eyes look more sunken in. So I would keep with very creamy colors. If you have like hooded eyes, you can maybe use a little bit more of a darker color, which I'm going to do in a moment. And again, this isn't like crease makeup or something like that. This is purely contouring. Like, when I have my picture taken, like for ID or something like that, I would do such type of makeup. I bring back the features a little bit more intense so that the camera picks it up better, because usually cameras tend to wash off your features, so you might look flat or even like spherical, like, you know, round face without any shape. That tends to happen when you have like ID pictures taken, and then you look at yourself and I bet that's not exactly what I'm looking like. And that's just because of the lens and the, you know, the flash and how light reflects and how the lens perceives your dimensions. Anyways, I've just added a little bit, so it doesn't look like I have like crease makeup or anything like that, but it added a little bit of shape. Now I'm gonna go with the next color, and these two I reserve to use on the lash line or something like that. Like, this is too deep to actually have it as a passable contour, so I would not go that dark. I would just keep it to something like taupe, this kind of color at most. And actually I might switch my brush, so I'm going to be using something more sorry if I'm coming very close to the camera. I'm trying to read the messages as well. This is a MAC, I have no idea number, but it's one of their crease type. So initially I've been using this one, which is very fluffy, doesn't deposit a lot of color, blends very well. And now I'm using this one, which deposits a little bit more the color, but it also blends darker colors better. So if I would use this one with the darker, it might appear like a stripe, not strike, oh my gosh, just stripe. Or it might then just not properly blend the dark color. So I'm taking the mid one, so just a little bit, not that much, and I'm starting to just lift. You know, I'm placing it where, for example, where I would like my crease to be, or where I would, in my eye shape, if that's easier to explain, where I want my eye to appear lifted. So I know that a lot of people say that, you know, if you want to lift, you apply light color, but in the eyes that doesn't look exactly the same. Like, it might lift if you apply lighter here, but it doesn't exactly lift here. It might make you look like you have a reverse panda eye. So I'm just lightly darkening that area, and this time I'm going in my actual crease, which is here. If it actually, you can see it. Then I'm dipping a little bit more and dabbing and lifting. So the lifting motion is what makes the big difference. Oops, I apologize. I have to get the charger for my computer. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Muffy, 1 second. Thankfully, I actually noticed it now and not later when the computer like shutting off suddenly. Oh yeah, the nose also, it depends on the shape. Sorry, I don't want to make a mess. But in many like nose shapes, it can actually disappear in the photos. It just like either looks like a round thing there, or it doesn't exist at all. Muffy, you wanna come? Come here. Come here. Okay. Well, Muffy doesn't want to come, so. Oh my goodness, Muffy, be careful. Where are you? Where are you? Sorry. Where did you disappear? Okay, disappear. So yeah, anyways. As you can see, I've applied only in this eye, and this eye still doesn't have the darker contour color, but it just gives slightly more dimension to the eye. It doesn't make it look like you have some makeup or anything like that. It just gives shape back, and it's also very good if you use, you know, this kind of glasses that you can't see far away, because it makes it appear your eyes actually pop through that. So again, just a little bit, and I'm going to start with this one line here and then lifting. And you don't actually need to use mascara with this eye look. Like, you can, of course, if you want to, but it's not really a must. The eyes will pop regardless whether you have mascara or not with this. And you don't also need eyeshadow for that. You can do it with contouring cream if you have, but I tend to prefer eyeshadow for the eyes because it can like melt, so it's kind of harder with creams. For purpose of this video, I'm going to be using just a hair of the dark one because I'm not sure if you can see the intensity, but if you use something darker than this mid-tone, then I would only place it here. So just ever so lightly, exactly where your actual crease is. So this isn't to really alter your eye shape. So you have to just follow your own structure. Of course, like I could make another video how to change your eye shape, but I mean, that's no longer exactly contouring, so. It's more of a, you know, transformative makeup. And again, I'm sorry that I'm extremely slow, but I would go a little bit faster, like if I wasn't trying to show on the camera or something like that. But anyways, this is more or less what I would do to contour the eyes. It's not exactly a dramatic makeup or anything like that, but it adds a little bit of shape and it adds a lot of life, if you wish. So I'm going to take again just a little bit of that cream and I'm going to go in, like, especially the inner corner to sort of freshen up. And here also to blend anything. Yep. So that's that. I have to put my glasses in order to check if I have to do something. Well, I mean, you can always apply mascara, like I said. It's really no problem, but when you have mascara, there's the risk that it will become more obvious that you have makeup. So it depends the look that you want to go for. If I have like my ID picture taken, I will add a little bit of eyeliner and a little bit of mascara because I have these glasses that sort of sunk in my eyes. So I'm gonna just show you that for purposes of this video only, but like I'm perfectly happy with this kind of contour. I don't need any further. But to add more volume around the lash lines, then I would use like a liner. And I would try to avoid using black. Black is very harsh. It's very beautiful when doing like dramatic eye makeups or something like that. So there you see. Let me get closer so you can see what I'm doing. I'm really applying it very closely to the lash line. And I'm gonna start winging a little bit, just like a mini, ling. I don't know what I just said. There you go. Like, really, the minimal. I think I'm a bad multitasker because I try to think what I want to say while doing the makeup, and it doesn't work. I have to focus one or the other. So yeah, I do a really light wing. Like, you can do a dramatic wing, but then it becomes more of a makeup look, more of a obvious makeup look rather than just a contouring technique. And the color that I'm using is the Tom Ford Eye Defining Pencil in Bruise. And I think that this is a staple color to have because it is a cool toned. Let's see. There we go. It is almost a grape color, but it has a bruised undertone to it. So it's like a dark grape color. And it's not too harsh like a black one. So I'm not sure you can see the difference between one eye and the other. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that might be actually the problem too. I'm approaching 30. But I just can't, especially when I'm doing makeup or, you know, something like really precise. I just can't multitask. I can't. I have to focus on what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm going to mess it up and then I have to wipe off everything. Anyways, I'm doing the other eye, so feel free to ask questions. And the reason why I'm going really, really slow is that I really want to get as close to the lash line as possible so that it gives illusion that there are more lashes there. Because traditional, especially if you have, you know, this eye shape that it's a bit puffy, or if you have like a puffy eye day, you know, like your upper lid is likely, you know, retaining water or something, and you know the lashes are seem to be more sunken in. This kind of technique helps to bring out the lashes back because you're actually defining the lash line and not the lid, if that makes sense. I'm sure half of this stuff sounds garbage to most people. Like I don't really make a lot of sense at this. No, tight line would be underneath. Like, tight line would be if you take the lash line and you go under, like in the inner waterline. That's actually tight lining. This isn't tight lining. This, I'm just really placing it closer to the lash line. Tight lining, I don't personally like it for daily use. Reason being, I don't think it's that safe, honestly, to put anything in the waterline. I'm pretty certain it contributes to eye allergies and eye irritations and all kind of things. So I will reserve like to applying anything on the waterline, like really for special occasions and not like a daily thing. Therefore, that's why I'm doing this kind of technique of really going into the lash line, but not touching the inner structure of the eye or the mucous membrane of the eye. Sorry. Okay, that's done. Whoops, there it went. So anyways, I'm gonna just grab the cap. Oh. Anyways, you can leave it like that, or you can add mascara. I know a lot of people need fake lashes in order to like feel complete from this look. I would like maybe curling lashes and then adding mascara or something like that. Another trick that can be done, which I actually forgot to mention and show you for the eyes, is that instead of, you know, darkening the lower lash line, I'm gonna take a, I don't know what number brush, because I've had this for almost 7 years. So, and I'm gonna take this, you know, this lighter toned here, this one, and you can go like slightly underneath. And because it's not very dark, it won't make you look tired, but it will like define the eye shape, especially if you use, you know, concealer. You've pretty much removed the volume of your eyes, so you can add a little bit of the volume back there. And depending on preference, like you can add lighter here. But I mean, it's not a dramatic thing. It's just, again, contouring to add dimension. So now my lower portion of the eye looks more differentiated from my under eye area. So it doesn't look like it's the same shade. Therefore, they look more proportional, because it's not like, you know, my eyeballs are just melting into my under eye. Because if you're very pale and you're using, you know, pale concealer or even white concealer, your eyeballs might just look like it's continuous. So in pictures, it will just look like, you know, you don't have eyeballs. They're just like forever the same thing. So that's why you can add a little bit just underneath, and not something dark like this kind of shade, this one, and even might be this one. So hope that was helpful anyhow. So now that the eyes are almost done, like if I'm adding mascara or something like that, I'm gonna do it at the end, like a finishing touch. But now I would rather concentrate on just doing the contouring. So now I'm gonna go into the face contouring, and this is still annoying me here that it won't cover properly. So I'm gonna try and cover it again, like with a little bit more of the concealer. Oh, sorry, I meant foundation. So I'm gonna be adding a little bit here. Let's see. Like I said previously, these are very, very tough to hide. And a trick that you can do is, you know, do all the routine of concealing and correcting and whatnot, and then setting it, letting it set properly, and then going again with the foundation or the corrector or whatever you use there. But you can see, no matter how much you apply, it won't really make a difference. like the only thing that covers this thing here is something compact, and I'm going to show you for a second. I'm going to be using MAC full coverage in NC15 because I have such a dark foundation, but anyways. So, like I was saying, if it's something that annoys you, that can help. Something like this kind of heavy duty, but the like bumpiness or whatever will always be there. Like there is nothing to do about that. The Larmer Sear Secret Camouflage, I'm out of it. I have the Secret Camouflage. I really like it, especially because it has, you know, that almost white shade, but I'm out of it, so I couldn't do that. The Secret Camouflage is also more waxy and drier, so I would be careful of applying a concealer that has a very strong wax base around a, you know, active acne or something like that, because it will cling to the dry areas. Whereas something that's more emollient, like the MAC Full Coverage, it won't really cling that much because it has more of a greasiness to it. So like this is as best that it will get. Of course, like I said, you can use body camouflage or, you know, heavy duty concealers and things like that, but too much work. You have already done like over an hour just for this, so let's move on. I'm gonna set slightly with a brightening powder, but I don't really need that much setting. You set as you need. Like, I don't know what is your skin type or your preference for setting, but yeah, I'm just lightly setting with the Shuemura face powder sheer in Pearl, which is, if I could have only one face powder, it would be this one. It's just perfect. Okay, I think we can soon start into the actual contouring. Finally. Okay, so I ordered a shade for contouring because, believe it or not, I don't really have proper contouring stuff. Like, I use this Burberry Fresh Glow in Golden Radiance because it's has a gray base, despite what the name says. I also use Hourglass, the palette, and I use mainly, what's the name? Diffused Light and the bronzer. So I use this one and this one in order to contour. This one is actually a pretty nice contour. You can also use like foundation powder to contour, cream to contour, like there are many different options. But anyways, I have the Surat Grisai. So it's the Surat artistic blush, whatever. This is what it looks like. It's supposed to be, you know, put in a palette. So that's what it is. And I'm gonna think now which brush I want for contouring. I mean, I have this one, which is a very large. It doesn't give as defined contour, and this one, which gives a more defined contour. So I can show you both. And the difference between day and night contouring is that for like day contouring, I might do something like this. So I'll take the diffused light, which isn't technically dark, and I start by where, you know, I don't know what the name of this is. I don't remember. Like from the ear, at this part, I place the brush there and I glide it approximately where the tip of my eyebrow is, more or less there. I apply a little bit more there, and then I bring it up But as you can see, this isn't an intense contour. This is like just to bring a little bit of shape back. And then I just blend it upwards. So a good trick to know where to place your contour is to like follow that, what's the name? I know it's the helix piercing, but I don't know, is this the helix? Or, I don't know. Either way, this part of your ear, if you place your brush there and you follow the line to it more or less, that will guide you a little bit more. Like you can drop it down a little bit more, like so, drop it, and then blend it upwards. You can also blend it downwards if you wish. Of course, I have shaved head, so for me it's very important that this area has color, like so that it doesn't look like I have contour placed there. But if you have like long hair, you don't really need to worry that much about here, but this, it will guide you, just it will give you a reference as to where to place your cheek contour. Then I like to contour temples, because if you have like very pale skin, your foundation of course will be very pale and it might look a bit chalky when it reaches the hairline. Therefore, I like to add just a little bit of warmth around the hairline. And as I said, this isn't a contour to change the shape of your face or to, let's say, masculinize your face or feminize your face. It's just to give dimension to your facial features that have been taken off by the foundation, or you want to enhance those dimensions because you're going to take a picture, or you're going to an event that has a lot of bright lights, or you might even go to an event that has very dim lights and you need something to bring the features out. So yeah, jaw contouring, I don't like to do that often, but sorry, I heard a weird sound. Mav? That was creepy. It was like someone was opening my door, but anyways, where the ear meets the jaw, place the brush there and then just glide it downwards and downwards. And then you can, of course, like create an more artificial line there. But I would be careful if you're very pale, like really be careful about contouring the jawline, because it's already hard as it is to match, you know, the foundation to your neck. Because if you're very pale, it can be, you know, tough to match it. Not impossible, but tough. Therefore, if you're adding already something dark there, you will make it even more obvious that you have makeup. So I would really do a light dusting here, unless it's just photo ID and, you know, it's just your face showing and you're not going like this, that they can see the difference. Then there, yeah, contour even more, because your face might, you know, disappear in your neck and therefore it will look like you have this kind of shape. Also, another trick, if you want to have more of a V shape, is that you can lightly contour your chin, which in pictures actually makes quite a difference. Surprisingly, not in real life, but in pictures is really useful. So find the edge of your mouth and basically do like a diagonal shape, but don't go up here, like max about 1/3 of the way of your chin. And so this would be a daily contour. I would say, like, you aren't really going to take a lot of pictures, or you aren't going to an event or something like that. Again, this is just to bring back some kind of shape to your face. I'm going to do the highlighting too, which, let's see, I would do something like, I don't really have a white one, proper white one. So something like, you know, the Color FX Moonlight Illuminator. And by the way, I'm going to come back to a more intense highlight and contour and everything. So I'm just starting to build up. So this would be a base, and I'm using the MAC 130 brush. And I would place the highlight here, like very gently, just a little bit, or a lot. I like a lot of highlight, but for purpose of this video, I'm going to stick to a low amount. So basically, whoops, there's a bristle there. I would go an inch above where your contour was placed and just gently go there. Then on the nose, just basically, you don't necessarily need to contour the nose. The nose contouring is very, very hard to master, very hard to do. That's why I don't want to show it over here, because it is very complicated to do. Despite like all the beauty gurus doing the contouring, like it doesn't look good like in real life. And often nose contouring can alter the shape very much that, for example, I would not recommend doing that on your picture ID, because it can be such a dramatic difference that really it might look that you have a different nose on the picture. So something like a highlight placed very lightly on top of the bridge is enough to bring back a little bit of the shape of the nose. So when you're having your picture taken, because there is some kind of reflectiveness going on in the area where there is more volume of your face, the light will bounce. Therefore, it will make it seem that your nose is more apparent. Like it will make your nose a little bit slimmer. It will make your nose a little bit more straight, a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, but you don't necessarily need to go for the full-blown contouring of your nose. Like that I would only reserve for maybe photo shoots, or like, I don't know. I'm not really fond of nose contouring, only photo shoots or movies or theatrical makeup or anything, something like that. Anyways, another thing you can place is highlight on top here. And in order to blend, you know, the cheekbone highlight, and I applied a little bit over here, but just slightly. Then over here, and what's really, really nice is on top of the lip. I personally like it there, and underneath the nose. I actually got a bristle, yay. So anyways, this is the first step. And now I'm going to go into a more dramatic contouring, if that's something that you're interested in. So I would take something, whoops, you know, a little bit darker than that. So let's say this would be like 2 or 3 shades darker foundation in a powder format. So you would contour with that. You don't necessarily need a contour shade. You just need a powder foundation that's darker in the same undertones that you are, and you contour with that. But if you want something more obvious for pictures, then you can go with the contour shade. So this is Grisaille. This is my first time using this one. I have others that I'm using, but I wanted to test it out. So again, same placement, but as you can see, it starts to be more obvious that there is a contour. And it works beautifully in layers too. So you can start off with your foundation contour, which is something that I also enjoy doing, is building up the contours so that it's not just one shade there. It's like a dimensional mash of colors, if you wish. So there we have the first contour. Then I would take something a little bit more fluffy and I would start blending it. So now you can see this is way more obvious than this side. I'm going to do this side too. And often you can make contour shades work if you use different bases. Like if, for example, I like to use Guerlain powder foundations as my contour. So I would start with that, and then I would move on to a darker contour shade that might not be really the right undertone, but because it's on top of that powder foundation, it looks much more right in a sense, because the surrounding area has a little bit of a darker tone already. It's not as stark pale as the face. I hope I'm making kind of sense here. Now I'm going to contour a little bit the rest. So because I don't want, the only stark lines that, or much more evident lines that I like is on the cheekbones. That's more easier to camouflage, easier to make it look natural. But if you start applying dark here, you would just like look like you have a poor bronzer, or you know, dirt accumulated there or something like that. Therefore, I would not go with something as, you know, sharp as this. I would go with a fluffier angled brush or even a powder brush and just apply very, very lightly and very carefully, because you can always add more, but very hard to remove. I mean, you can remove if you've over applied anything. What you need to do is use a white powder or a powder foundation that matches you, and you go on top of that area. So what I would do now is, like, I'm trying to create this continuous line with the hairline so that it's, you know, the tonalities are symmetric, and it's not just starting like one shade here and then one, whoops, and then one shade there, and it, you know, then it becomes very obvious that you have either bad skills are putting it, or you have over applied, or, you know, I don't know. I don't want to say bad skills because it might be of the person's taste, but this is just my take on the contouring thing. Anyways, so this is a more intense contouring. It might not be still as intense as many other beauty gurus, if you wish, but I personally think that those kind of intensities don't work that well if you're very pale. I mean, if that's the look you want, you know, if you want, I go often with very, very deep contour line, and I blend it, and then I put a bit of highlight, and that's it. But that's a specific look. In terms of contouring, it's not exactly contouring because it looks more of a blush. It's very artificial. I hope I'm making my point anyhow. Anyways, next thing up is that I'm going to be taking a little bit of this color, and I'll be placing it here just to brighten up the area. And now I'm going to start highlighting a little bit more intensely. So for those of you who like that, and probably you'll be drooling now, hopefully. One of the highlights that I really, really like is this from Becca, and is the Champagne Pop. But this might be not really adequate for me today. This would look very beautiful on top of a blush. So that's something else that I want to mention, is that your highlight, if you're going to apply blush, think of your highlight like a complement to your blush. Therefore, look at the tones of your blush with your highlight. Are they like, can they be blended well together, or will it look too comical in a way? I don't want to say comical like it's wrong or something like that. I just want to say like you will be like a caricature, because you will have a lot of different colors. Like you will have your contour color, you will have your foundation color, you will have your powder color, you will have your blush color, then you will have your highlight color, and it all doesn't blend properly together. So look at the undertones of your highlights with your blush. For example, this highlight could work very, very well if I would use a blush like this. Like it would complement them. Let me try and illustrate that in my hand. So this is obviously a very stark swatch, but this is the blush. And if I would go, and as you can see, it blends. Like it adds something to the blush. It doesn't take away from the blush. It doesn't, the tonalities work together. That's what I wanted to say there. You know, you can make a gradient out of it. But if you're having, you know, a very cool toned highlight, and then you're having a very warm toned blush, it might, you know, it will become very obvious that you have many lines of colors there. Again, I'm not saying that's bad, not at all. I like very comical blush. Like probably many people have already told me like, you should apply less blush. I personally like more blush. So anyways, I digress. I'm gonna use now a little bit of blush in order to place the highlight better, and this is just from Miss Chick. It's a Finnish brand and it's Freshness. And I'm gonna be using Bobbi Brown's blush brush. I've had, like most of my brushes, I've had them for soon a decade, so and if you have a situation of a pimple like me on the face, like there is really nothing you can do about it, honestly. Like, just have to suck it up. I mean, you can use some blush on top of it. It will sort of camouflage it a little bit, but not that much. Anyways, now I'll place the blush, and I'm going to blend the contour with the blush a little bit more. Are there any questions? Because I'm not sure if anyone is there. Hello. For highlighter, I'm going to try this one, which I've never tried before. Is the Bobbi Brown highlighting powder in Pink Glow. This is what it looks like. And I'm taking the Anastasia A23 highlighting brush, and I'm adding highlighter. And I like this brush because I can go like underneath of my glasses and it doesn't, you know, bother. So this is a much more intense highlight. And again, you can layer highlights. You can start with a, like the Cover FX is a very soft glow kind of highlight. You can start with the Hourglass strobing powders, something like that, that is very toned down. And then you can add a little bit of the more intense highlight in the areas that you wish to have. I personally have a large, large addiction with highlighting. Also under the brow bone, on top of it. And I like also a little bit of highlight on the apples of cheeks. Reason being is that it gives more volume when you smile. Like, you know, where you have your blush. There are weird things happening. Like, I don't know what these sounds are. Maybe a little bit more here. Yeah. Anyways, ignore this mini patch here. But yeah, this is like more of a much glowier type of highlight thingy situation going on. I don't know. Honestly, every time I'm doing a video, it's like something is happening. I have no idea. Last week it was the other computer just randomly starting off. A muff is hiding. What are you seeing? Wanna come here? No? I don't know what's going on. Anyways, there it is. As I said, you can layer highlights to create, you know, more of a dimension to your face. You don't need to be only like one highlight or one blush or one contour. So really up to you. What else could I give an advice on highlight? Like highlighting, we are pretty much done for like in terms of powder highlight. I like to place the highlight on the top of the cheekbones because I think that lifts. I love highlight on the Cupid's bow lip thingy. I think it also lifts, and on the nose, I like it. On top of the brow bone, I would use more of a toned down highlight. What else? A little bit here, and also on the center of the apples of the cheek. So when you're smiling, it looks like it's lifted. But that again, like for some people, that this might be like way too much highlight. So I understand that. I'm not saying that you have to do this kind of highlight. I'm just showing you options and ideas. And like, of course, if I would do makeup on someone, I would take into consideration their facial structures, what they like, the tones and whatnot. But this is just some tips and tricks on highlighting and contouring. Now I'm going to do the lips because we aren't done yet. Oh, and you can also use like highlight base. For example, this kind of, you know, like primer highlighter kind of thingy that's liquid. You can apply that first and then apply your powder highlight. My brain performance starts to go down. What else? You could do like a cream highlight and then top it off with a powder highlight. That would really add a lot of dimension. Just thinking of ideas. What else could I say? Anyways, for lips, I have these from Sarah Happ, and it's sort of like a lip highlighter. You can see it, just pure highlight. So I'm gonna go on the edges and then tone it down for what I'm doing next. I like these NARS lip pencils because they are very good for contouring the lips. Another one that I've been using is from Etude. One is the shade 33. Becca has this dual lip liner, so it comes with the highlight color. Let me show you what it looks like. So can you see the line there? And then it has, you know, with a nude-ish liner. I don't tend to like this line too much, but this, I mean, liner that much, but it's an okay option if you don't have access to others. But like there are other white ones or yellow ones that you can use, and I would place them a little bit on the edge, but not exactly on the lip line, but a little bit out of the lip line, so that when you're doing your contouring, they pop out more. So for today's purpose, I'm going to be using the NARS Sex Machine. Great name. I have another one which I really like too, that it's nude like this, but I can't find it. So I'm going to be sticking with this one. And I'm going to try to locate a mirror, like a handheld mirror. Here we are. Oh, and shade selection. You want to go with something that's 1 to 2 tones up than your lip color in order to, you know, contour it. And undertone, try to stay in the similar undertones as your lips. For the Cupid's bow, you can actually create one that's more deep by adding, you know, a little bit of the white or yellow lip liner or whatever in the center. I personally don't like very deep Cupid's bow, so I tend to cover it a little bit. And what I'm doing now is I'm not really going on top of my lip, natural lip. I'm going to show you what that looks like in a moment. But what I'm doing now is just shaping my lips like they are. I'm not trying to add more volume or take off volume. Okay, so that's that. Then I would take finger and blend in, but blend slightly upwards when you go in the edges. That will sort of give you the illusion that you have slightly bigger lips if you're like, you know, you press and you blend up. Without actually, you know, having to overline your lips. Now, if you want to have even larger than this, what you would do is you add a bit more here on the so you basically would add just a little bit more around the edges. Now we're going to blend the highlight, don't worry. And again, take your finger and blend it. Otherwise, it will just look artificial. So we have that. And now I'm taking, again, something like a white pencil. And just cleaning up the edges a little bit, especially in the outer edges. And I'm taking a little bit of this lip liner. And I'm slightly overlining. Be careful when you're lining the end, because that's where it can go all through the drain, because you might like overline them too much, and then it looks like you have like a kind of mouth, you know, like kind of funny mouth. So up here you can afford overlining them more. It won't look as bad, or not as bad. I mean, it's taste. Like in the 20s, they used to overline a lot there, but it's just it won't look as pleasing to the eye, if you wish, or at least not to my perception. I don't want to say what others' perception should be, but that's what I think. And then I think we're almost done. Like, this is pretty much contouring of the face done in a more natural way. And I'm going to tell you the colors that I used, because that's, I know a lot of people will wonder. So the Becca Nude Liner, it's called Nude Liner. It's Plump and Defined Lip Pencil, and it's in the shade Nougat, and they have 3 different. The lipstick, it's a Velvet Matte. Again, when you're contouring your lips, you want something that's matte. Don't contour with shiny or glossy. It will look like your lip gloss or lipstick was poorly applied. So go with a matte and try to find one that's long wearing. For example, Urban Decay has those 24-hour lip liners. They're very, very good because they resist water. They resist a lot of things, like they stay put for a long while. So you can overline a little bit with those because it stays put for longer. But if you want something that you can overline very quickly and then fill in your lips with the same color, then the NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencils are very good. The little highlighter that I used for the lips is the Sarah Happ, the highlighter. So I'm going to show you again. It's just a lip highlighter. There you go. And what other tips and tricks could I tell you? Ask me questions, because I haven't received a question for a while. So I would like to know what are you thinking? What are the questions? I'm gonna grab a mascara so I can apply it. 1 second. Back. And I'm just using this so that you can see what's the final result. I'm using this kind of, it's not showing here. Let me try like that. It's a magenta mascara or a reddish mascara. They're new from Dior, so if you're interested, run, because they're limited edition. And I like me red mascaras. I still have some lash extension left over that I've tried to remove myself, and they just don't want to come off. And the lash technician told me to use oils, and they don't want to come off. So I apologize if it looks a bit unprofessional looking. The lashes, and you know, when you're having lash extensions, when they fall off, like they fall off because the natural lash has fallen off, but it might make it fall off a little bit faster. Therefore, then what's left of the lashes are the new baby lashes. So now my lashes are kind of short because I have those baby lashes coming out. I like the Show mascara because I'm not sure about you, but when I'm buying mascaras, I like them when they get a bit older rather than fresher ones, because when they're fresh, they tend to be too wet and they weigh down the lashes too much. What I like about the Show mascara is that the texture is like not too wet. It's already slightly dry, not because it's a bad batch or anything like that, but it's produced that way. Therefore, it won't run or weigh down your lashes, or, you know, random clumps of mascara suddenly sticking out on you. Is cream highlighter okay to use for highlighting the Cupid's bow? Yeah, of course. There is no problem. Anything can go over here. It's like this thingy that I have here is kind of a cream highlighter. Well, as you saw, I placed the powder highlight all over here. So in these two ridges. And then the cream highlight, I just, wherever I want it. I just think it's pretty, so I use it all over. How far wide the highlight should be? Well, I would say around this perimeter, you know, like 2/3 of the way maybe, or even like 1/3 of the way of the lip. You wanna come say hello? Come say hello. Hello! He made an appearance. Okay. You okay? Okay. Wanted to show you other highlight options maybe. Oh my goodness, I can't find them now. Oh well. I'm gonna be, by the way, updating swatches. I just received samples from, what? I'm clumsy. From Vapor Organics. They're foundations and highlighters, but I'm afraid they're a bit too dark. Like, so we'll see about that. What is it, Muff? Where are you hiding? Yeah, I know. You're a cutie boy, aren't you? He's been a little bit tired today, so. Yeah, he's often tired when he's molting. Cutie pie. So yeah, if there isn't any more questions, I don't know what else to say. I think I've covered pretty much everything. Also keep in mind that I'm facing 100% natural light. This under flash or photography light or studio light will look much more intense. That's why if you're doing any kind of photo picture, please do it under spotlight or, you know, bright light, so you can see how intense the highlight will turn out to be, because in daylight highlights don't tend to be that intense no matter how much you frost. Yeah, I know. I'm just checking if he put. Yeah, I know, but I don't know. He's in that mood. I don't know, and I don't think it's every week that he's like that. But today he's kind of like, he's been hiding him from me. So, and I think that's pretty much it. I don't have really much else to show you guys. I know that this might not be like the most elaborate contouring tutorial, because I've seen some that, you know, it's like applying this color, this cream, this more cream, blending the whole cream, applying more powder, and then, you know, but usually it's for darker skin tones, which might work better. But again, I don't think that all of those steps that you see in order to contour are necessary. Like, there are a lot of steps and they might look very cakey. They can look beautiful on camera and for the moment being, but I'm not sure that they would look that good 8 hours later if you have an event or a party or whatnot. They might look just excessively cakey on the face. I think there is this trend of overly doing the contours, like changing the shape of the face, which is fine if that's your goal, is to change the shape. But for me, contour means something else. It just means to bring back the shape that you have that might not be too obvious when you've used foundation. Like, it's possible to do, like, I could take now a really dark bronzer and start, you know, like swiping it all over and blending it and whatnot, but that, trust me, will not look good up close. It might look good for 1 hour for pictures, but after that you just have to remove that thing because it looks like a mask. Well, like I said, one that's good is the Surat. That's what I've used. Is not as gray toned, is more of a taupe color, and I feel that it blends very beautifully. There is a Kevin Aucoin Sculpt that's very good, and I have a couple more coming on the mail that I've hoped that I would have had them for today, but I will show them to you guys next week, and you, sorry, probably see them on the blog, like the swatches earlier than that. What? And in terms of highlights, most highlights tend to be like too dark or too muddy on very pale skin, but you can make them work, especially if it's, you know, in this area around the blush. The only thing that I said is, like, keep in mind what tone your blush is so that the highlight that you place on top will really like blend beautifully together and not be just like random color placement on your face. That's one thing that I feel a lot of people don't pay much attention to. You know, a lot of people making tutorials, I'm not saying people using it, I'm saying people who make tutorials, is that they're using whichever contour and whichever highlight, whichever blush, like just randomly. And for me, that can look very artificial, especially in person. So you have to be very, very thoughtful about what colors you want to place and where you want to place them, and almost like why you want to place that color there. Yeah, that's true. A lot of highlights, especially if you're very, very pale, will not show up on pale skin. Like, I know Becca makes one that's white, but I mean, it looks like a powder on my skin. It doesn't look like, you know, the traditional highlight. Or like if you scroll through Instagram and you see pictures of these girls, like they have like these really intense highlight, that's because they are very darker toned. So any highlight will pop off their skin because of the contrast of the light. Basically, if you're very, very pale, then you are already reflecting a lot of light back. And if you apply like a white highlighter, then, you know, since you're already reflecting a lot of light, then the highlight won't have that contrast. So it's like you're all over already a highlighter. Unfortunately, the Shiseido High Beam, I haven't found it here in the US, so I don't have any chance of trying that. But come here. No, he doesn't want to come. Yeah, like that's another option. You can have like the glossy highlight, but I personally like what they call frosting or like, you know, metallic highlight. Of course, it depends on preference. Like there is a lot of different, like there is like clear sticks, and I've also applied like clear face balms in order to add highlights, especially if I don't wear any makeup. But on me, I like the what's the name? What's the name? The like metallic highlight. I had a brain fart there. So, are you itching, Muff? Yeah, especially if you have very oily skin, the gloss highlights will look very well. It will end up looking like you have excessive amounts of oil. I'm not sure if you've seen, but there is a new highlight set that's on the Sephora. If you go through Sephora What's New and you go on the What's New for makeup, you can see there is a highlight kit by Pat McGrath, and it's supposed to be available for VIB on the May 2nd, and it's a 3-step highlight kit. So there is a gloss type balm, there is a highlighting stick, and then there is the highlight pigment that you apply on top of the highlight cream in order to have really intense highlight. And they've made it in cool tone, which is more silvery, and then warm tone, which is gold, but it doesn't add pigment, it just adds highlight. So that's something that you might want to check, and I'm probably gonna end up getting it, but anyways. Oh yeah, I said I was gonna show the Tom Ford eyeshadows. Is anyone still interested in that? I don't have that many, but I can show you. And I'm not sure if I showed you, probably not, but this is what the magenta mascara looks like. Does it show? I don't know. I'm gonna grab the eyeshadows anyways. Okay, so you already saw a new dip. Next one in line is Sahara Haze. This is a cool tone green. So it comes with a sparkly green. It's like, oh, sorry. I use sometimes eyeshadow as a highlight, but I feel that for larger highlighting, not just, you know, certain points, it can be harder to blend and sticks more to the skin. Therefore, it might be obvious that you have a highlight, like it becomes like a patch. That's why I don't tend to use highlighting eyeshadows like for highlighting. This one is Titanium Smoke, and this is like really cool toned. Is gray tone. It comes with a creamy titanium color slate, and then it comes with a shimmer. It's just like translucent shimmer, this kind, and then dark shimmer and a dark gray. And then there is Orchid Haze, which, by the way, it's another of my favorites. Is like a nude, but it has like rose gold, purple undertones. And there are no like sparkles here, like they are shimmery and satin, except this one, which is matte. So those are my Tom Ford ones. And then, do I have more Tom Ford? No, I only have like, then I have these kind of random palettes that I made. I don't have any. Another option for the contouring of the eyes, if you don't have access to that Dior, or you only want the main contouring color, it would be from Rouge Bunny Rouge Solstice Halcyon color. It's very similar to that MAC one. Sorry, to that Dior one that I was using. This is the shade. I'm gonna check if there's something to mention on the Shuemura palette. Nope. And what about the Suku palette? Nope. Suku palette is too dark. So yeah, I think that's about it. What would you like the next week's live stream to be about? Because I've covered highlighting and contouring, and pretty much you've seen me use the foundation. So, and we did already the color correcting thing. So is there something that any of you would like to see? Mafi, what are you doing there? Actually, I don't really have that much besides what you've seen. I have a couple more, but I could do that. Yeah, I could definitely do that. But I would also like to do something like educative so you can learn. That's why makeup collection might take hours. But yeah, if you want to see eyeshadow collection, I have no problems, or even makeup collection, I don't mind. But I like sharing knowledge. And yeah, sure thing. What kind of eyeshadow tutorial? Like, the life of Muffy. Oh, that wouldn't be too interesting. Well, he would need the reality show, but now, for example, he's licking his cage. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, yeah, sure thing. Maybe I was thinking, this is just a thought, I could do spring makeup with something dramatic. Like, maybe, because I don't, like, I could do maybe a very dramatic smoky eye, because I have my own way of doing the smoky eye. So a very dramatic smoky eye with maybe color in there, like not just, you know, black plain smoky eye, but something like colorful. And then different bright lip option, because I'm not the one who's like, if you have smoky eye, you must go with nude lip, right? Well, I think on everyone, dramatic translates in a little bit of Halloween. But, I mean, life is boring if there isn't a little bit of Halloween every day. I think so. Like, most of the times, if I'm wearing like a dramatic makeup, it's really like out there and bold and clownish. But I don't mind. That's fun. And that's the whole point of this. It should be fun and not like being scared of what people will think or whatever. Like it's just a fun thing and almost therapeutic. Like you're just sitting there and doing like, I don't know, happy things. Muffy, you wanna come? No? Okay, fine. Fine, I said. You didn't want to come. I use red eyeshadow too and red mascara. Like now I'm wearing that red mascara. Well, you can't really see it in the camera. I can't really see that much either because my lashes are so tiny now. If you think they're long, they aren't. I mean, I have like the extensions here, so that's why. But they're tiny, therefore I wasn't able to coat them properly because there is those fake ones there. But yeah, I use red. I mean, I use almost red in my eyebrows. So, and I know I've gotten a lot of times, you know, in my makeup pictures that I've posted on my blog, like, oh my gosh, you look like a clown. You should use less red. You shouldn't put red on your brows. I'm like, I don't care. I really don't care. Honestly, I don't care because I keep doing it, so I don't care. Yeah, like, yeah, I think it looks fabulous. I like color. I don't see why you shouldn't use color or whatever. And I think especially if you're like very pale, like colors look really fun. Like I know a lot of people are afraid, like if you're very pale, like colors might look clownish or, you know, they look more obvious. But I still think that is really fun. Okay, so that's set. Next week I'm doing something like that. I'm gonna be planning what to do and you won't be disappointed. When I use color, I use color. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it gives way more life. I like the two opposite, you know, like really dramatic, a lot of color, or then like really, really, really pale everything, like almost dead looking. So, but that just like my own personal preference, of course. Muffy, shall we say bye-bye? You don't want to come? No? Okay, fine. So, Mister doesn't want to come. He's busy cleaning his cage, despite that I've cleaned it. He has to clean the walls for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, that's true. Colors look shocking. Yeah, that it's like putting highlights on a white paper. You know, like you can really notice it. Well, you look like the US flag. Blue eyes, shadow, red lips, and then white face. Or the UK flag, or even France. Yeah, he's a neat. Oh my goodness. Now he's, you know, the cage, he's on the ceiling upside down, like, and cleaning the ceiling. Mafi, that's a bit, you know, he's acting that way because he can't clean me now because I told him to not bother me for a while while I'm filming. So he's acting a little bit like I need to clean you, but I can't come. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's cool. Come here. Let's say bye-bye. Come here. Okay. Opa. You wanna go clean? Okay, whatever. Bye. He's just hiding now. Why are you hiding lately? I didn't say you couldn't come to the camera. I mean, you can always come. Come. No? Okay. Well, he doesn't want to. But at least he came here. Right? Yeah, okay. Oh wow, that's very new. Like I know that in a lot of places, like most, you know, Western places, they frown upon people that use like really bright blush or things like that. It's sort of like you're a crazy lady if you do that. But I know that in many other different cultures, the makeup is viewed differently. Like what's beautiful is viewed differently. Like, so I think that's very interesting because for me, I really like bright blush. I don't mind it. I think it's pretty, like magenta blush. Um, he's cleaning my hair, by the way. Yeah, you can clean it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna show you. Yeah, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to clean the cage, but because he wanted to actually be cleaning my hair, but I told him not to, and now I let him. So yeah, probably that's why. Yeah, the makeup tastes are different, also because of the climate and yeah. Ow! Stop! Ow! That hurts, Muff. Muff, the ow! Ow! He's blocking my hair, Muff. Come on! Ow! Seriously, that hurts. Ow! He's just blocking the hair, Muffy. You're gonna let me be bald, Muffy. Stop it! Ow! Enough. Anyway, so I think I should end this now because it's gonna be 2.5 hours, and I don't think anyone wants to watch 2.5 hours of a video. So, bye bye. Let's see each other again next Friday. Is it a plan? Is it a plan, Muff? Maybe. Maybe it's a plan. Say bye bye. Yeah, probably I'm his guarding. But bye. Have a good day and good weekend. Bye bye.